Whenever we Christians talk about unity, we always open up to the book of Acts and the first chapters, and we see our ideal there, right? Look at that. They were all sharing everything and meeting together all the time. It's so beautiful. Why don't we do more of that? And for decades, that was my ideal version of unity. I thought that's as high as it goes. And when I came back from Brazil and my friends came back, we had that as part of our ideal, and we decided to form a small group. And we came together, and it was like the first chapters in the book of Acts. It was so incredible for a time. And after a period of time, after a year or two, I started to have these thoughts like, I don't think I want to go anymore. And that's horrible. Shouldn't there be unity? And so I was like, what's wrong with me? Or what's wrong with them, maybe? And finally, I came to the conclusion that what was wrong was my view of unity. I had a bad concept of unity. Because one day I had this thought, and I thought, I think I have some insight into the early church. Do you realize why they were so unified to begin with? Well, suddenly I thought, it's not because they had more of the Holy Spirit. It's because they were so stinking immature. Nobody had grown. Nobody had experienced this stuff before. And so they all just kind of showed up and go, I don't know, let's see what happens. And there's something that's beautiful about that, but it's the beauty of a baby. It's the beauty of something that hasn't grown up. And so often, I believe we Christians take that immature thought that is pure or good, and we never grow up. And we leave it at that. And so if Acts 1 and 2 becomes our ideal, then we're trying to force people to think exactly the same. And actually, I think what needs to happen is we all need to mature. And when we mature, then I think we can come up with a mature view of unity that is even more beautiful than the one that's a baby. It's kind of like when we took vacations when my kids were young, and we would tell them, this is where we're going, and this is what we're doing, and this is where we're staying, and they thought it was absolutely amazing. But now they're 14. And if we did that to them, we would have a rebellion on our hands. My son would say, I want to stay at a fancier hotel, and my daughter would say, I want to bring a friend, or something like that. And should we go, oh no, we're now not unified? What's the matter? Well, you just have to understand that unity is different when you grow up. The more mature you get, the bigger your vision has to be. Otherwise, you'll never get unity. A few years ago, my wife and I started up a nonprofit to, help support us when we were doing the stuff we were doing for God, and we were growing. And we hoped that one day we could use money to help other people as well. But when we were looking at the name, we came up with the name Called Out. And it's really a play on words. Because the word church means to be the called out ones. And typically we view that as we were out in the world and God called us out of the world to come together. And now we're out of there. We are the called out ones. We go to church, which is away from the world. And I wanted to put a different spin on things because I started to think that, okay, that's maybe a good first step, but as we mature, what if we're supposed to go out? What if the height of Christian maturity is not going to church? What if it's you actually begin to get to a place where you don't need it as much and you grow and then you know more of what God has for you and you are now called out? Called out, and we all go in these different directions. And now you have something marvelous. Because often unity can't take place, not grown-up unity, when we're all in the same place. Because we're all supposed to be different, because we have different things we're supposed to do. And so I came up with this phrase about Christianity, and I really like it. I think it has a lot of truth to it. It's that Christianity is a million people going in a million different directions. And I truly believe the more we grow, the more we mature, the more we see that God's vision for us, that God has called us to do something that is so big that we need different people with different giftings, doing different things at different times in different places and all of that. The more we see that, the more we will truly believe that unity is not everyone staying in the same place, doing the same things. A better view of unity is a million of us with a big vision going out in a million different directions, doing a million different things for God.